Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Small Business Surgeon Podcast. Guys, I'm super excited today to bring you the youngest guest ever on the show. It's a real treat to have him on here, and he's got an incredible story that I want to share with you guys. I want to dig in and pull some things out of this young man's brain. He is the top salesman now for Break Free Academy, having ousted our friend Drewby Wilson from his perch over there. Guys, welcome Zach Sasser to the show. Zach, welcome, mate.
Hey, thank you so much, Samuel. No, it's a pleasure, man. I've been looking forward to this show ever since you asked me a few weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to tell a little bit about my story, tell a little bit about, who I am, what I do, but also to share, some of the wisdom that I've picked up over the years from just hanging out with, super high producers and kind of the top dogs out there. So,
dude, I love that, man. And I'm glad you're here. But before we get started, Zach, tell me, what did it feel like to knock Drewby off the top there the other day? How good did that feel, mate?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're looking at me right now. I got a smile on my face. No, I mean, all love for him. He taught me a lot. Him and Ryan both trained me to learn so much, and I'm grateful for it. But I mean, it definitely felt really good, and it felt even better because I kind of knew it was going to happen eventually. But I always told Drewby, hey, I always told him, hey, whenever I beat you in top producer, I don't want it to be because you had a bad month. I want it to be because you had a good month and I just had a great month. And that's really what it was. We hit $1 million this month, which was fantastic. And man, it came down to the last minute too. So
I think that's because Thomas has done such a good job of scaring you guys. You sell by scaring over there right now.
Nah, not too much. But Ryan, I mean, I was out at the Dearly, so I didn't have too much reception. But Ryan, he was in both of our ears saying, he's telling me, Drewby's got some more, you got to keep going, you need 100K more. And then he was in Drewby's ear saying, hey, Zach's got, 3 or 4 more people coming, you got to keep pushing. So
that does not surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me at all. That sounds a lot like
it was funny because he told us that we always have a team meeting on Mondays. And he told us on Monday, and I was like, dude, I saw right through that. I knew you were just pulling our legs. So,
that leads me to my initial first question, man, because you're still a very young man. You're maturing at a very quick rate. What does a typical day around Break Free Academy look like for you?
Yeah, man. So usually I get to the office about 9 o'clock.
Are you one of these morning routine guys? Have you already had like 5 hours worth of work before 9 o'clock, or you just kind of roll in, man?
No, so most of the guys at the office do have a routine like that. Thomas gets up super early. Ryan, they always go up to the gym, to Mark Zeke's gym. Me on the other hand, I don't really like waking up too early. I usually wake up about 6:37. I wake up, I eat some breakfast, get dressed, brush my teeth, kind of get ready for the day, and then I head out. Every once in a while, I'll wake up and I'll be like, hey, I woke up pretty easy. I'm gonna go to the gym early and kind of knock it out. But usually I like working out in the afternoon anyways, especially since I've been doing boxing. That's kind of the only option since doing boxing. So, man, I don't wake up at the crack of dawn like the other guys do.
We got to get onto boxing later, man. I think we got that in common. I love to box, but so you get into work about 9 o'clock, and then what? You just hammer in Facebook leads, or let's give me an insight into how your day works.
Yeah, so usually right about 9 o'clock. Monday's different because we have a team meeting at 10, but every other day is usually the same. So I'll get into the office usually about 9 o'clock. Kind of set my day up, plan, hey, this is what I want to do. So right here, I got a sticky note with kind of like the top 4 things that I want to do for the day. Kind of like if I get those things completed, then the rest of the day will be counted as a win. So I kind of lay out my day like that. And then I kind of just get straight to it. I'll check my emails, look for any leads that came in over the night, start reaching out to them, start following up with other people. I have kind of like my CRM set up for people that I need to follow up with right now, next week, kind of later on. So I'll start with the most recent ones, kind of check in with them. And it's not really, hey, are you ready to buy it? It's kind of just like, hey, what's up, man? What can I help you with? So I just start checking in with people and kind of set those replies up for later in the day, because I mean, I sell to high performers, elite business owners that they're super busy.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
reaching out to them early in the morning, giving them the whole day to reply, it seems to work out pretty good for me.
And me, you sold to me as well. Don't forget that.
For sure.
So, what I like to get out of this podcast is little stuff that my audience can take away and use to further their businesses and improve their stuff. And I know that you guys over there at Break Free Academy are super big on something Ryan has coined as permission-based selling. Right? Can you take us through what a permission-based sale would look like as opposed to a typical cold call trying to sell some stuff?
Yeah, man, for sure. And I think this is actually going to be a huge golden nugget for all of your listeners, because this kind of takes the stress and the anxiety out of selling, because you're not showing up to the office and being like, hey, who am I going to sell to? I got to make 100 cold calls. I'm going to hate my life at the end of it. It kind of takes all of that out of sales.
Dude, Glen Ross was pretty depressing when they were all sitting in there just hammering leads over and over. And I think it rained the whole movie, didn't it?
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's an easier way, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I've done it the hard way. I grew up in an entrepreneurship family. So I started, my dad had a roofing company. So I started selling roofs at probably like 15.
Oh, nice.
Imagine that, dude. Imagine being 15, and I had long hair at the time. So I had a little ponytail in the back.
Oh my goodness.
I shouldn't have told you that, because now you're going to go dig up those pictures. But
I'm not. No. No, we won't do that to you, mate. But yeah, tell us a little bit more before we get lost in permission selling. Tell us a little bit more about the history of Zach and the history of your sales. Because I now I'm trying to imagine you as a 15-year-old with a ponytail trying to sell me a roof. I'd probably throw rocks at you, to be fair.
Yeah, man. I mean, it probably wasn't too far off. I heard some pretty choice words, but especially that was back whenever, I looked at sales as just kind of making money and just kind of doing that. So it was a little bit awkward, but yeah, so I started off in selling roofs whenever I was about 15. It was a family business. I knew I wanted to own my own businesses one day, start doing sales. I kind of saw that as the progression. So I just, a storm hit in 2017, and that was what was that? I was 17, probably my junior year in high school. So it hit my hometown. So I was just reaching out to all my friends and family. Hey, let me come give you a free roof inspection. Insurance will cover it, all that sort of stuff. I started doing that. I door knocked, and man, I got to tell you, that was probably the best start that I could have gotten, because whenever I got here to Break Free Academy, I kind of already had that rough and callous skin. I was used to people throwing doors in my face and throwing rocks at me. So nah, man, I'm forever grateful for that. Plus, I mean, it was good money too. Roofing, there's tons of money in it. Some of the richest people I know are roofers. So no, it was pretty cool. I started with that. I was working at Chick-fil-A. That was kind of like my family's place, because we love to eat Chick-fil-A. So we always got free food. We played football, so we would always go by and just eat a bunch. We were just teenage boys. So I ended up quitting Chick-fil-A and going all in for sales. And then, yeah, and kind of my next sales job from there was I started doing digital marketing. That's kind of why I plugged in so well with Apex, because I already had a background in digital marketing and Facebook ads and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
So I already knew what I was talking about. So I kind of went into that, started a digital agency. I think it was right about 18 whenever I started that. Started generating leads for my family's roofing company. Did pretty good at that. And then that's whenever kind of the BFA opportunity came, and I've been here for 18 months. So a little bit over 18 months.
Dude, so that's a lot to unpack in such a short space of time. I'm really curious. Tell me what motivates you, man. How does a kid like you see all these guys all around you? Is it difficult to stay motivated, or is it, man, it seems to me like it must be a fast track.
No, yeah. So motivation every once in a while, motivation comes and goes, but motivation really is not an issue for me. I'm always surrounded by people that are pushing me. People like Jose or Ryan that pour into me and show me bigger picture stuff. So, I mean, motivation's no issue to me at all. But every once in a while, maybe like in the gym or something like that, I just won't feel like going to box and get my face beat in for a day. But that's kind of where that discipline comes in, and just kind of doing the work despite. That's one of our core values here at Break Free Academy. So just going and just saying, hey, I know I need to do this, so I'm just gonna go do it. So
no, I got you. I got you. So it's taken you less than 18 months to go from, what were you like a phone sites consultant? Is that how you got started?
Yeah, that's actually where I met you. So you started using phone sites, and I was like your concierge. So I was helping you use phone sites, showing you how to build it, and yeah, I was just walking people. It's a super simple software, but sometimes people get complex or overwhelmed. So I just walked them through building their first funnel, and these are all BFA Apex ideal clients. So
Hmm.
I would just start bringing up Apex, and if they showed interest, I would talk to them a little bit, but I couldn't really sell it. And you were actually one of those first people that you were like, yeah, I'm interested in Apex. Tell me about it. So I told you about it, but I couldn't sell it. So I sent you over to Drewby. I set you up,
Hmm.
and I kind of set him up on a pedestal too. I'm like, hey, he's a really busy guy, but let me see if I can't squeeze you into his schedule. I mean, all the time I would just go into Drewby's room and be like, hey, if someone wants to talk with you. He's like, all right, set him up for this time or something like that.
Hmm.
So I'd set them up on a pedestal, and I mean, 90% of them closed anyway. So you were actually one of the first people that kind of went through that process. So
Yeah, that was the point, though. I mean, I was wanting to be in Apex before I bought phone sites. I don't think I was a particularly difficult customer to close, and I don't think I will be on any of the future products either. I mean, I see the value in what BFA has, but you went from the phone sites intern to top producer in 18 months, man. What was the secret there? How did you achieve that?
secret sauce. This is something that a lot of people are always asking. What's the key point to getting there? I kind of have a different point of view on it. So I don't really think there was one thing that got me from phone sites intern to here.
Hmm.
If I had to choose one, I would say maybe hard work. But even then, I mean, there was so many things. I think success is just stacking a whole lot of good habits on top of each other and being patient and working your butt off. So I think it was just a whole bunch of good habits, a whole bunch of curiosity, ambition, working hard, work ethic, all of that stacked on top of each other, and really just knowing kind of where I wanted to be 18 months from now whenever I started at phone sites. It would have been easy for me to start at phone sites and still be building those funnels, which
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
I didn't really enjoy. I mean it was cool being around
None of us
everybody,
enjoy
but
building funnels, man. That's why we had the phone sites concierge build them out for us.
for
Like it's
sure,
just, I enjoy when funnels run, but like setting them up and building them, it's a pain in the butt. No wonder you wanted out of there.
for
Um,
sure.
Dude, I got to skip ahead though, real quick, because 18 months to top producer. Like, what's on the target for the next 18 months? Where do you go from here, dude?
That's a good question. Um, that's actually a really good question, and it's definitely something that I need to sit down and kind of lay that out. Um, 18 months from now, obviously, I don't want it to be my first month being top producer. I want it to be my 18th consecutive month.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have other businesses on the side of Break Free Academy kind of running themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to build relationships and start investing into different things so that, really 18 months from now, financially, I'm in a totally different space. But I mean, as the finances go, I mean, whenever you're making 100K versus when you're making a million, there's a bunch of changes with who you are in order to make that type of money. So
Oh, no doubt.
uh,
Yeah.
growing mentally, growing physically too. That's kind of
Um,
why I'm boxing and lifting. So
Yeah,
it's
making
just
the money's easy, dude. Keeping it's the skill set. Keeping it's the real skill, and
for sure.
we all still got to learn to do that a little better, no doubt. So you must see a lot of businesses, a lot of business owners. You must get a pretty interesting insight. Obviously, the majority of it confidential, but you must get a pretty interesting insight into the inner workings of companies from where you sit. How have you taken those lessons and used them to your advantage? Because I know that you've now got a couple of different things going on that have to do with Google and rankings and tree trimming of all things. So tell us a little bit about how you've managed to take the things you've learned and put them to your advantage, man.
Yeah, great question. I honestly think being at Break Free Academy and being surrounded by all the business owners, high performers that I'm surrounded by, picking up from them and using this as honestly like the biggest opportunity a person my age could have.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe it's fast tracked me, cut my time for success in maybe not half, but I mean, it's fast tracked me by 10 years.
Oh,
It's,
easily. Yeah.
I mean, I know 30-year-olds, I know 40-year-olds that aren't doing the type of stuff that I'm doing it in the most humble way possible. But that's just testament to being surrounded by, I mean, being in the same room as the type of people that I'm surrounded by, and learning, learning how to build a business. The tree trimming, I mean, that's a perfect example.
Yeah. Talk us through that for a minute. Tell us how that came about.
Yeah, so the tree trimming, basically what I did before Break Free Academy was I made websites and I would label them, tree trimming company in San Diego or Dallas, just generic terms like that, just a city and a job. I would do roofing companies in Dallas, all sorts of stuff. And I would make them show up first on Google. It's called SEO, search engine optimization. And I got really good at that. And so I have these websites. I have probably 6 right now that are showing up number 1 in all these different niches and cities and stuff like that. Some of them are roofing, and I just send them to my dad and my brother, and they close them. He just closed one the other day. So I mean, it's kind of mailbox money at this point. I think I'm getting a check for $1,400 for doing nothing, for just sending a referral to my brother. But the tree trimming, kind of what that was I sent it to somebody else, and I had another tree trimming business, and I was like, I mean, people pay for leads all the time. So I just went to Thumbtack. I found somebody that was already paying for leads, and I was like, hey, you want my leads too?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, for sure. Can we do like a commission split? And I was like, glad you asked, because my leads are going to be way better than Thumbtack. So I want to get paid more than just $30 per lead, because Thumbtack's sending it to 5 different pros. I'm sending it just to you. I know you're going to close it. And you better close it. So I started sending them to other tree trimming businesses, and dude, these tree trimmers, they don't know how to run businesses. They're so messy. They don't understand systems and processes, and they're so and I mean, it's not their fault. It's just what they're used to. They're so focused on trimming a tree and the difference between an oak tree and an elm tree and all this sort of stuff. They're just not the best with businesses. So, I mean, my leads would would get ignored and not reached out to right immediately. And you know how important that is. When somebody's searching for tree trimming in Dallas, I mean, you got to reach out quick.
Yeah, they're not doing it for a hobby, man. They need a tree trimmed.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of whenever I saw that opportunity, I was like, there's no reason that I can't kind of arbitrage those leads and start a tree trimming business myself, hire a crew to go do it. In the beginning, I started estimating. So kind of what that process looks like is people call me or they fill out a form. And in the beginning, I did it myself. I would just reach out, hey, can you send me some pictures? Because I didn't want to go out there.
Right.
They would send me some pictures. I would send it to my crew. I'd be like, hey, how much for this? And they'd be like, $1,500. I'd text back the customer. I'd be like, hey, we can do that for $2,000. When were you wanting it done? And I just kind of assumed the sale. It's a lot of sales and systems and stuff like that I picked up on that has allowed me to be successful in this. And that's whenever I realized, the way I reach out, the way I get pictures, the way I schedule a job, I can hire somebody else to do that, maybe split the commission with them and free up my time for Break Free Academy. Because it started, I did it probably for a week, and I noticed my sales kind of drop off, and I was like, I don't want that to happen. So I ended up hiring my mom, actually. I just pay her 50% of whatever we close. And I mean, it's just mailbox money. I just had some checks pulled up on the desk, and Thomas walked in and he's like, is that your tree trimming business? And he was just talking to me about it. I was like, yeah, dude, I literally do nothing but count checks for it now. My mom runs everything. And then the crews cut the trees and remove the trees and all that sort of stuff.
Dude, you've done really, really well. Man, I love the fact that you've just got multiple streams of income already at, what are you, 21, 22?
Yeah, I'm 21.
At 21, man. I love the fact that you've had the ingenuity and the foresight and the wherewithal to set that shit up, man. I think that's just really cool. As you get to see inside other people's businesses, the one thing that you said about the tree trimmers that really stuck out was, they can trim trees, but they don't know how to run a business. And looking at your exposure to entrepreneurs and small business owners, a huge part of successfully moving from employee to business owner is mastering, or at least having a really good comprehension of the sales process and how to generate a lead and how to turn a lead into an appointment, how to turn an appointment into a sale. In your opinion, Zach, where do most business owners and salesmen, where do they trip up and where do they fail in the process? What's one of the weakest areas that we can have my listeners go out to work on and improve their skill sets?
Yeah, great question. So I would say there's probably going to be two. So the first one is probably not being good at sales and thinking sales is going out cold calling 100 people, kind of like that boiler room style sales, and
Mm-hmm.
just I mean they're mad at the end of the day. They didn't make a sale because they just don't understand kind of the psychology behind sales. Sales is nothing more than solving problems and kind of being that person that people can know, like, and trust and solving their problem.
Mm-hmm.
So in Apex, this is something cool. I really don't do business with people that pitch me or anything like that. I do business with people that I just think they're kind of a cool person. A great example of this is Adam Neese. He's
Mm-hmm.
my credit card processor. He's just a cool dude. He played football. He's a younger dude. He's really successful for his age too. So I just think he's a cool dude. I just reached out to him. I'm like, hey, you're doing my credit card processing. Set me up for that. So I think kind of that permission-based selling, I think that plays into it. But just being a cool person and kind of understanding the psychology behind sales, I think that's a good one. And the other
Mm-hmm.
one is probably once you get good at sales, kind of staying in that position and not realizing there's another level to it. And that's whenever you got to start learning more skills, which is systems, processes, stuff like that. The cool thing about the tree business is I kind of went straight to that level. I never learned how to trim a tree or anything like that.
Right,
I
right.
just focused on the systems. And one of the best dudes that I know with these systems is probably Keith Pike. He's one of our executives. He has the number one Remax broker in the country.
Mm-hmm.
He has a mortgage brokerage, so he doubles up on those commissions. He has an
Yeah.
insurance company, so he triples up on those commissions. Trying to talk him into doing a roofing company because, if his team's doing 2,000 houses every single year, every once in a while they're gonna fail inspection because of the roof.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you could get millions in revenue just from his agents' roofs, I think that's another income stream. But focusing on the systems, I think learning sales, that's going to be the first skill for you. Once you learn that, then you're good to go. And then the second one is going to be transitioning, kind of working on your business instead of in your business, and becoming that business owner instead of just a one-man show.
Dude, that's a great answer. I really want to dig just a little bit more on the sales skill set. What's the most important, or the couple of most important things that you can give to my listeners right now for them to go work on to get better at sales?
Okay, so I'm sure you've all heard, have a tough skin. You have to go through the nose to get the yeses.
Mm-hmm.
Another good skill for me is looking for a blue ocean. So this
Oh,
is
good
this
one.
is
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
people don't focus on, and this is something I've thought about. If the world ended today and Ryan walked into my office while I'm on this podcast and is like, dude, get the fuck out. What would I do? What would I go sell? I was thinking, all sales is kind of the same, but it's not at the same point.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn something, but what I would look for is I wouldn't go sell, I don't know, I wouldn't go sell houses, or I wouldn't go sell credit card processing or roofing or something like that unless I knew of a marketing angle that I could kind of get in and just kind of exploit, something that set me apart from others. I think that's crucial to my success at Break Free Academy is honestly, our program is unlike any program out there. So it's a blue ocean for me. People can be
Right.
like, hey, I'm thinking about buying Cardone stuff, or I'm thinking about buying into this program. I just kind of tell them, hey, this is why we're different. And it just kind of makes it a no-brainer. So I think being in a blue ocean and having an angle that you can attack sales at, automatically that's going to set you apart, and that's going to eliminate a lot of frustration because you're not having to go out and compete with people that, maybe their product's better than yours. Just
Mm-hmm.
make sure you have the best product out there. I think that's a really good one.
Dude, that makes life a lot easier having that space to run, and not being in the red water with all the rest of the sharks, man. I like that answer. And for those of you tuning in, I didn't brief Zach on any of these questions. He's just answering them off the top of his head, and he's doing a wonderful job. But I'm totally putting him on, on the spot here. Why does nobody like calling leads, Zach? What's up with that?
I don't know, man. I never understood that one. Maybe in the beginning, whenever I was selling roofs at 15, I didn't like knocking doors, but I think I just realized this is what I need to do in order to get good. If I keep doing it, if I don't quit, then eventually I'll get good. And really, and the hard stuff's what makes us better. The hard stuff's what's improves you, getting outside of that comfort zone. So just kind of knowing that and doing it anyways. I guess, I don't know. Maybe people are soft. Maybe they don't want to do the hard stuff.
Nobody wants to do the hard stuff.
I never understood it.
I just know that if people call the leads, they got a whole better chance of closing them. It just, whenever I've built sales teams, that was the biggest resistance I ever felt was, hey, did you call your leads today? Oh, not yet. Like, what the hell? Come on.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
Like money?
So, we've all got specific ways of when that first text notification hits, the first email notification hits, and you've got a live one on the line, you've got a lead come in. Tell us, man, because we've all got different processes, we've all got different setups depending on what industry we're in. Me being in real estate, I've got a very comprehensive automated lead follow-up system, and then as that follow-up system trickles through, as people respond to the bots, then it comes over to the live side, and me or one of my guys will take over and start interacting with the client. Can you walk me through the life cycle of a lead in your ecosystem and tell me from the minute you get that first little ping that says, hey, we got a phone sites form filled out here, what does the life cycle of that lead look like, and how long does it take you to close it, dude?
Yeah, great question. So I think there's kind of two aspects to that. So sometimes I get leads in my inbox from Ryan, from people filling our jointheapex.com funnel.
Yeah.
And that's basically them saying, hey, this is where I'm at. This is where I think y'all can help me with the most. So with those, what I do is once I get that, I immediately reach out and I'm like, hey, what made you decide to reach out to us? And this is something that we teach in the Build Your Machine program in Apex. This is like the go-to, it cuts through all the bullshit. It just, hey, what made you decide to reach out to us?
Why are we here? What are we doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a template. I go to my phone, I search, I say BFA1, and it automatically templates it out. So I just have to change the name, and it's like, hey, Samuel, Ryan shot me your Apex application. What made you decide to reach out to us? After that, they'll reply whatever they say. And usually it's another template, okay, cool. I'll entertain what they said a little bit, and then I'll go straight into, what do you think we can help you with the most? Because at this point, these people already know what Apex is most of the time, or else they wouldn't be on the jointheapex.com funnel.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, I just want to be surrounded by high producers, or I just want to up my sales game, something like that.
Dude, is there a most common problem, or this is just for my own pure edification? Sorry to interrupt the answer to the question. Is there a more common problem that you run across for people coming into the group, or is everybody kind of unique?
No, so really, and this goes into our Motivational Monday call that Ryan released last week. I mean, nothing's unique, really. So these people are, they all think, hey, I'm kind of in a unique situation, but here's where I'm at. I'll tell you, almost every single one of them are in the same situation.
Yeah.
And they're just like, maybe I outgrew my circle and I want to be surrounded by other winners. Maybe I just want to get some sales and marketing, and I know y'all kill it. I'm tired of struggling. I would say those are probably the two main ones.
Right on. So we're now we're interacting with a lead. We got one on the hook. We're interacting with it. So where do we go from here?
Yeah. So the next step, what do you think we can help you with the most? And then whatever they say is kind of what I focus on, telling them how Apex can help them. So if they're talking mostly about the network, I'm going to talk mostly about the network. I'm going to say, hey, there's kind of two aspects to Apex. And once again, this is a template. So I search, I think it's Apex breakdown, and it just types up like 1,200 words. and I'm kind of giving my game away, and people are gonna be like, "What? You didn't type that." But I mean,
Dude,
when you're having a
I do it all
conversation
the
over
time with
and over.
shortcut keys. It's the same, like it's the same with clients when they come in. There's a set of questions most people have, and I do it. And I picked that up from one of Ryan's classes. Like I've got shortcut keys for answers to questions. I got shortcut keys for different email accounts. All of it. I mean, it makes sense. Otherwise, you're just sitting there typing the same shit out over and over and over.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. And whenever you're answering the same maybe 5 out of 10 questions every single conversation,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes sense. Always look for those systems and those processes that you can implement.
Amen.
But yeah, so I kind of focus, hey, there's kind of two aspects to Apex. On one side, you get the training, which is awesome, don't get me wrong, but where I think most people get the most value is going to be the network, being surrounded by these type of people, picking up on this type of stuff. And then I was in with the question, does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I mentioned a few different levels. Once again, it's a template. I mentioned a few different levels. We got Apex 1 for salespeople, Apex 2 for business owners, Apex 3. I mean, they're already built a business. They just want to scale it.
Right.
Which level do you think, once again, a question, which level do you think you'd fit in the best with? And I tell them the price in that too. I'm like, Apex 1, it's 2,500. Apex 2, it's 10K or 1K a month. Apex 3, it's 50K or 5K a month. I tell them the price right there so that I let them tell me, because I mean, there's no sense in me selling somebody on Apex 2 if we just need to get them in Apex 1 because they literally don't have $10,000 to drop on this program.
Right.
So I tell them the price, and then the stress is out of, okay, it sounds good, but how much does it cost? They just tell me, I think maybe I could fit Apex 2, but maybe I should start in Apex 1. I tell them, that's never a problem. We can always start you at like Apex 1, build you up, get you those sales coming in, and then take you to Apex 2. That's the whole idea of our program, is to help you win, help you level up, go through the programs. So man, I'll tell you, a lot of my sales are pretty similar.
So let's talk about when it goes bad then. Let's talk about old Harold that fills out the form and doesn't answer the phone. How do you keep leads? How do you keep up with leads? And the most important question at the end of it all is, how do you re-engage a dead lead? And why is it a meme?
Yep. So you already know the answer.
But I want to hear it from you. You're here to educate my listeners, not so much me, but the listeners, dude. So tell us the process for re-engagement, and what happens when nobody answers the phone, because a lot of people, they'll get leads in and they forget they're spending $7 or $10 or $15, whatever it is, to acquire the lead, and they'll call them twice, and they didn't answer. Well, shit, that's that, and that's not only is it, I've not serviced somebody with a problem, I've not helped this individual, but it's also, I've spent, $15 on that fucking lead, and now I've got nothing. So it's more like, I love when things go right and we sell shit easily, but looking at it from a business training perspective and getting the most out of this for my listeners, I want to know what happens when the guys don't respond, and how you manage to keep up with all that, and how you get them to re-engage.
For sure. So first off, I want to say, some people, like I said, I'm dealing with high producers. So sometimes they'll fill out the application. They'll say, hey, I did 10 million this past year. I did 20 million or something, an insane number. So first off, just understanding people are busy. Don't be annoying. Don't be like, hey, hop on a call with me. I'm not calling them every single 10 minutes trying to get on a call with them. I just reach out first day. Hey, what made you decide to reach out? Sometimes they don't answer. I would say probably 70, 80% of the time they don't answer. Second day, same thing. BFA 2 is my text shortcut. What I say with this one is, hey, Ryan shot me your application. I forget what I say. Ryan shot me your application. Just want to make sure we got you the help you needed. What made you decide to reach out? Once again, same thing. Day number 3. Hey, Mike, I got your application. Haven't been able to get a hold of you. If you'd rather hop on a call, we can schedule a call too. I'll attach my calendar below. I'm good either way. Just let me know. And usually I would say 80% have replied within those first 3. Oh, wow. And then after that, usually it's gifts, it's memes, it's the you good dude, or the I don't know, Pablo Escobar sitting
waiting.
Yeah, so
I like the
meetings,
little
gifts. So
I like the little dancing African kid. The face I make when you answer my text messages, and it's the little
I don't know
dancing
that
kid.
one.
I
I
send
gotta
that one
get that
quite a
one.
bit. I'll toss it you in the group.
All right, cool.
But I use that one. I use that one quite a bit. So the life cycle of this lead, then, have you closed anyone on month 17 that you picked up on month one, or does your general life cycle run shorter than that?
All the time. I actually have one closing this Friday. I hope because he's been pushing it off forever. But he's like, dude, I'm finally in the position that I want to. He was one of my first phone sites clients, and he just, I mean, just building those relationships. Um, I I look at it less as a sale and a lead, and more as building that relationship, so that even if you don't buy Apex one day,
Hmm.
I'm still gonna have that relationship with you. We're still friends on Facebook. I love using social media to connect with my prospects because one, it lets them know, hey, I'm a real person. And
Hmm.
I mean, I buy from people I know, like, and trust. So other people do too. So them saying, hey, I saw you got top producer. I think I want to give you my money this month for August. I mean, people do that. I had somebody do that yesterday. Um, so yeah, building those relationships. 17 months. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have probably a 17-month close this Friday.
Dude, well
So
done.
it happens all the time. So staying in contact with those people for sure.
Well done, man. And let's touch on social media for a minute because I've gone through the building your machine, and my social media looks much, much different than it did 18 months ago when you and I first started talking. But how important are referrals and the entire know, like, and trust setup of social media?
Referrals are great. I love referrals. I had one of our Apex executives send me $102,000 in revenue from 3 executive clients. Zebo, actually, he's an NBA All-Star. He's one of our clients.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Zach Randolph. So he was a referral from one of our executives, and man, I'm so appreciative whenever that happens. So he sent me $102,000 in revenue. So I sent him the most expensive bottle of wine because I know he loves wine. I sent him a bottle of wine to let him know, hey, I appreciate you, and anybody else you feel would be a good fit for our program, please feel free to send them my way. So referrals are huge, man. I love referrals. I love anybody that sends me referrals. I always have our members, and that's the good thing about doing what you say you're going to do is underselling and over delivering, because people are happy and they're happy to tell their friends about you, and because they want their lives to be changed just like it's changed all of our other clients' lives.
Amen.
So
So,
referrals are awesome.
what's something that somebody that's struggling to get referrals, do you have a good system for checking back in and following up and asking for those? Because I know a lot of people that listen to this are maybe a little bit scared to go back to former clients and say, hey, who do you know that can help me out? So is there a particular system you use, or any advice you can give the listeners on getting those referrals, which generally are much more of a slam dunk close than anything that's cold?
For sure. So I have a lot of insight into this. So first off, if you are scared to ask your clients for referrals, it's probably a good indicator that you don't feel like you earn that referral. It probably is a good indicator that you didn't do what you said you were going to do. You didn't undersell and over deliver. So if you're afraid to text one of your past clients and say, hey, do you know anybody else that would use my service? It's probably because you don't feel like you deserve it.
Hmm.
So first off, deserving it. So do what you say you're going to do and over deliver.
Is that a
Another thing,
mindset thing or an action thing, do you think?
I think both. I think all your actions start with your mindset. So knowing that you're going to go what is it, over and beyond,
Over and
um,
above.
over and above, knowing that you're going to do that, and then figure out ways to do it. So like for me, I knew I wanted to show this executive appreciation that he sent me these referrals,
Hmm.
and then my actions followed. Hey, what I reached out to one of his friends, another executive, and I'm like, what is he like? He loves wine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna reach out to another executive who runs a wine club, and I asked her, hey, what would be a good wine to get for this executive? And she told me, and I bought it. I think it was like $400. Um, I mean, the referrals pay for it.
Right. It's enough to make an impression too.
Exactly. So I think it's a mindset, and then your actions follow. So first, deserve the referral. Second, don't just reach out to people when you need something. Nobody wants, and that's the thing, just be a good person. Everybody reaches out to you when they need something, but not just to check in with you. So sometimes I'll check in with people. Brittany Zell is a perfect example. I checked in with her. I was like, hey, you good? She's like, yeah, what can I help you with? I'm like, nothing. I'm just making sure you're good. You need anything? She's like, yeah, people they always hit my line when they need something. So, I mean, just check in with people, build that relationship, and genuinely care about your clients, because if you treat them well and you build that relationship well enough with them, you probably won't even need a prospect a year from now. I probably will, but I probably won't need to, because my clients they keep sending me people.
Dude,
I'm kind of seeing that right now.
I'm in such a weird spot from that, because I know I need to prospect, and I know I should have traffic running and funnels running and leads coming in, but I'm as busy as I could ever be from referrals from the work I've been doing over the last 18 months. So now it's like it's finding this balance between keeping marketing materials going out, keeping ad campaigns running, and actually servicing the clients I've got. So it's definitely a good problem to have, but it comes from, like you said, going above and beyond with the service, and then just asking for referrals afterwards. Like, people literally, oh man, you did such a good job looking after me. You do a great job looking after my uncle too. You sneaking a picture there too. We're gonna
Yeah, I'm gonna put on my story. Let
Okay.
people know. Let people know they need to check out your podcast.
Well, tag it. I appreciate that, man. Zach is taking pictures over there of us as we're doing this. Obviously, his screen capture button is broken, but I won't make any more fun of him for that. All right, mate. I got a few more questions for you. I won't keep you too much longer, I promise.
Man, I'm here to help.
You've been great, dude. You've been a great guest. You've been very helpful. But I want to know now, where are you sitting? Where are you sitting at 31, mate? What's on your radar for the next 10 years? And why is it sitting on a beach drinking a pina colada? But no, for real, what's the next 10 years hold for you, and where are you going, buddy?
Man, so 10 years, I think majority, if not all, is going to be with Ryan. I love being here. He's taught me so much, and it's fast tracked my life so much.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. That's a hell of an opportunity. You should definitely stick around there as long as you can.
For sure. But I mean, I also do love being able to build businesses on the side and stuff like that. So in 10 years, man, in all honesty, I genuinely feel like I would be able to retire. But at the same time, I feel like I never want to retire.
Mm-hmm.
I always see people retire and honestly, they die a few years later. And they're just bored. They have nothing to do. So they have nothing to look forward to. So I just want to build a lifestyle that I could retire from. I have so much mailbox money coming in, everything's taken care of. But at the same time, I don't want to retire from it, because I'm building a new business venture, and I'm not worried about a tree service company in DFW, but I'm building something way bigger. I'm thinking bigger.
Dude, it's an addiction, man. I promise you, it'll never stop. You're just gonna keep going and going.
I think so too, and I'm glad that I grew up in an entrepreneurship family, because I was always good in school, so I thought I get good grades, maybe I should be an engineer or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad I didn't do that, because an engineer would not have cut it for me.
Dude, that's some hard numbers and stuff, engineering. Like,
I was always good at numbers, so I mean, I took engineering classes, I was really good at it, but I think that's whenever I started looking at life on a deeper level, and thinking,
mm-hmm.
what do I really want to do? What's my mission in life? And I want to help people. I want to be a good person. I want to be able to live a life that I want on my own terms. And I don't think engineering would have gotten me there. So,
dude, for you to find your mission at 21 is just incredible. I mean, it took me till I was 39. So well done on that. But to have the mentors that helping to guide you and actually find your fucking mission at 21, I mean, you're light years ahead of the rest of us, buddy. It took me a long time and alcoholism and almost bankruptcy to figure out what my mission was. And you've just, like I said, you shortcutted 15 years of your life being over there.
Sure.
Well done.
I appreciate that, man. I think, my mission is something that I'm always improving on as I grow. My mission grows with me, but I do have a pretty good indicator of knowing that I'm right where I need to be, and I'm doing exactly what lines up with my mission right now.
Dude, I love it. All right, what car is at the very top of your vision board? Come on, let's make it about you for a minute. What car is at the top of that vision board?
So there's definitely levels to it. I don't want to skip right to a Lamborghini or Ferrari, because if I go straight to that, then anything after that's going to be a downgrade.
You
So
just
I think
just get one of them little jets, the one-seater private jets.
so. I think my first one's probably going to be a Corvette, probably a Z06, a C7. I love those cars.
Oh man, yeah,
I'm
they got that right, didn't they? They got
sure.
that right. The last of the front engine rear wheel drive vets, man. Those I know a couple of guys with those C7 Z06s. That's a real good choice.
I don't think there's a better bang for your buck at that price point. After that one, I'll probably go. I'm kind of torn between if I want to go to like a McLaren at like the
Hmm.
$150,000 mark,
Yeah.
and then after that go to a Lamborghini, probably Huracan, and then at the top right now is a white 488 Ferrari.
Oh, nice, nice, dude. I've actually got a red 488 on my desktop, but I'm all about that Audi wagon, man. That RS6 Avant. Have you seen those?
RS6. No, but
Dude.
a girl that I'm talking to, she just got I think it's an A5. Now, I
Mhm.
never really paid attention to cars, period. But ever since, I mean, she went out of town. She let me drive it for the weekend. And dude, Audis, I love them. And that was an A5. I think the
Yeah.
S5s are way faster than that. And RS7s on totally
Hmm.
different levels.
Those
So
RS7s, it's like literally just wearing a rocket on your back. It's an immense amount of fun. They're north of 600 horsepower and all-wheel drive. And dude, I've always been a
yeah,
massive fan of cars. And the funny thing for me when my main company went under and I was having all that bad time, cars just took a back seat, and I didn't add a car to my vision board until about 2 weeks ago. And we're 4.5 years away from the company collapsing, and it took me took me all of that 4 years till I added a car back on my vision board. But it's there now, dude.
I,
And
I I think I think it's been in your vision board in your mind, just not on the actual board. Because whenever you first signed up with phone sites, I remember you told me we talked about your whole story, kind of where you were at and everything that had happened. And you told me red Ferrari way back then. So
oh
that's
yeah,
why I always reference it. It's
but
not because you
that's
told me the
that's
past
like,
2 months.
nah, red Ferrari's like, I got to get some apartment buildings and some shit lined
I'm right
out.
there with it.
I got to get some
I'm
rental properties. I got to build my investment portfolio back up before I start messing with red Ferraris.
sure.
But my company can go lease an Audi within the next 6 months. So there's a whole there's a whole bunch of difference there. We're not looking at
Sure.
spending anything on a Ferrari yet. Jesus, I'll get all kinds of trouble if I had a Ferrari. But it's nice to know there's a few in the parking garage that we can sneak outside and go look at. Whenever we get to do that. All right, mate. I've got just a couple more questions for you before we get out of here. And it's been good just shooting the shit and getting to know you a little bit better, man. Because we've been putting this off for way too long. Man, this is a tricky question with your age, but I'm going to ask it anyway because you've got the experience to back it up. So if you had to go back and start over again and give one piece of advice to a kid starting out, be it in sales or be it in entrepreneurship, and maybe they're older than you, maybe they're just less experienced, what's one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody just getting started?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's definitely something I wish I knew maybe even a little bit sooner. I learned it pretty early, but I think I would say find a mentor, find somebody that's where you want to be.
Hmm.
There's plenty of people out there. I'm kind of going into that mentor stage right now, where I'm looking for people that I want to mentor and people that I want to kind of be my protege. There's people out there that would love that. Ryan, he loves having me around because I'm kind of like his success story. He kind of
Absolutely.
gets to claim me because I'm growing up in his organization and he's building me. So I mean, people are out there that they want people that will just work hard and be coachable. So it's not too hard to find. I know every once in a while you'll feel like nobody's out there like that. I'll tell you, we got a whole network of people that would love to do
Hmm.
that. So find a mentor. It's going to cut your success and think of it as an investment. It's going to cut your success and your what am I trying to say? Time in
it's,
half.
it's going to
Um,
reduce the timeline. Yeah, it is.
yeah, so think of it as an investment. Even if you come in being an intern for phone sites, making minimum wage and not really liking building funnels, think bigger. Think
Yeah.
about the people that you're in the room with. Think about the stuff that you're learning, and think about where you're going to be 18 months from now, but let alone 5 years from now.
Well, having mentors has helped me advance a lot. I like to think, like I built 2 7-figure companies by myself, and how much different life would have been if on that second one I'd have set some ego aside and gone and found some mentors. But the one thing that a lot of people, you know, they lose sight of, especially when they're reaching out for help, is, you know, no, I'm not the most successful fella you'll ever meet, but I'm more successful than a lot of fellas. And when somebody reaches out to me, I love nothing more than mentoring people and teaching them the things that I've learned and helping them shortcuts. So if somebody's out there that's looking for a mentor, a lot of guys, once they get to the top of the hill, they like to turn around and give back. Do you find that? I mean, I know you see that in Apex all the time.
100%. I think the biggest thing with that though is don't half-ass it. So don't go looking for a mentor if you're not willing to put in the work and say FYE, you know, forget my excuses and be able to do everything that they say, because that's one thing that I hate and I love. You know, somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, you know, can you help me with this? If I know that person's an action taker, I've got so many people I follow up with trying to get them into Apex and they're just not at that level yet. I'm pouring into them. I'm helping them make some more sales. I'm helping them level up, because those are going to be my biggest supporters whenever they get into Apex. They're going to send me the most referrals.
Absolutely.
So helping those people come up, but at the same time, you know, I always get people that, and you can tell by the way they're asking these questions too, is they're just trying to find a shortcut to success. They're not willing to do the work, and those are the people that I kind of just brushed off and I don't help. So make sure that you're ready for that and you're willing to put in the work whenever you do think you're ready for a mentor.
Hey man, there's nothing more frustrating than as a mentor giving people things to do and setting them homework and then coming back the next week and nothing's been done. There's nothing more frustrating than that. All right, my friend, do me one favor. Tell everybody listening where they can find you online and also where they can contact you to join Apex and learn a little bit more about what we got going on at Break Free Academy.
For sure. So as far as finding me, I'm probably most active on Facebook. I'm on Instagram too. But hold on, I think someone's calling.
Popular as well.
Can you hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, someone's calling. Sorry about that.
It's all right. We're not going to edit it out. Don't worry. This is proof that Zach's actually popular, guys.
No, as far as finding me, Facebook, it's probably going to be facebook.com/real Zach Sasser. So it's ZACHSASSER. Instagram is going to be Sasser21, and shoot me a message on one of those, Facebook or Instagram. I see all messages that come in.
Okay.
Most of the time I reply to, as long as you're not one of those people asking for free information and not willing to do the work. But those are going to be the best places to find me. Those are going to be the best places to connect with me about Apex too. I mentioned the join the apex.com, but I mean, that goes to all the sales reps. So just shoot me a DM and I would be happy to answer any questions, you know, explain what our program is. And yeah, you know, no pressure with me.
There it is.
That permission-based selling that we talked about.
I am going to put those socials in the show notes and make sure everybody's got a way to reach you. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close out, my friend?
Man, I would say anybody that's listening to Samuel, you're in the right place. You know, listen to this dude. He knows his stuff, and he's a killer, and all he wants to do is help people, and he's well on his way. So he's somebody that I look up to. So he's definitely somebody that y'all should look up to too.
Oh man, that was super kind and totally unexpected. Thank you. Guys, I want to throw a huge shout out to my buddy Zach. Zach, thank you for coming on the show and thank you for dropping so much knowledge in such a short amount of time. Huge congratulations as well for not only being my youngest guest, but also being the youngest top seller ever at Break Free Academy and breaking some records over there, mate. So well done. Be sure to look out for this guy and run over to his socials, give him a like, give him a follow. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about permission-based selling and about these likable, attractive characters that these guys help build, reach out to him because it really is worth every penny. All right, guys, a huge thank you to Zach, and we will be back as always with Friday Fire this week, and you'll have a wonderful week. I'm about to pack up, head to Dallas, and go be a part of Apex Live and go experience that. So I will see you guys with this week's Friday Fire. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe.